ran through here, picked it apart, found some really good spots. Very exciting piece of ground, lots of potential. Internal plots, pinch points, fence crossings, little bedding benches. I mean, it's got everything you want in a trophy property in a great area.
Whether we sell it as a whole piece or a couple 30s, either way, even those 30s, I mean, they hunt like much bigger pieces. You got cabin, site, power, water. This is gonna go from a raw piece with a ton of potential that's not being utilized. And when we're done, there's gonna be amazing trail systems, food plots on each piece, scent-free box blinds on each piece. And then there's some killer bow hunting spots, like that any bow hunter in the country would be excited about sitting in.
Pretty cool trail running this rim right here. Right up above this drop off.
Yeah, I figured there's I have a stand site pinned somewhere where this whole flat and rim all kind of meet.
Gigantor scrape. Already got a hub scrape right where you're gonna bring the road down. Have major creek crossing. There's fresh traction the last couple of days. They're still sticking their head in that.
There's a cool scrape tree, comes straight out. So we're in this creek bottom here and it's really thick, and we're laying out a food plot in here, and we want it relative to our access. So I'm gonna take Onyx, I'm gonna hit record, start, and I'm gonna run through here like a freaking weasel. And I'm gonna make the exact layout. I can see some huntable trees over there. All right. So I'll drop a line and bring it 40 yards off of the back corner of our plot. That way I know where I want the blind. And then we'll take the wall from the blind and run it around this back edge. And that way everything that comes is gonna squeeze through on the side we want relative to the blind placement and wind direction. A little under a half acre. It's a perfect little concentration of scent green staging plot as these deer come off this south-facing hill and out of this thick creek bottom and head to the crops. This is big for a 30 acres.
I got coming up this south-facing slope, and I got up on top here, and I'm like, man, surely I've gone too far. This seems too big. And I checked Onyx, and I wasn't even close to the corner yet. This is a pretty wicked little bench right here. Down off of here. Got this little flat spot. Good sunlight. I can see it from here. There's a little grass pocket right in the middle of this, and that's all matted down. Bed's all up in here. This is all matted down. I'd hunt here.
Yeah, need to mark the stand here.
Man, they're hammering through here. Already a giant deer trail coming off here. And then keep the road on this side of it. Look at this other feature right here. It makes this even better. So now you've got even more of a pinch. The road's gonna come down here. This ravine starts to get really steep and really washed out. And then you can see as you pan this way, it flattens out. You got two natural hogs back. We're gonna put a road down that one. You got trails coming in this way, put the stand in that right at the end of this pinch, so the deer will funnel between the end of this drop off and the base of that tree is like 15 yards. So we just talked about this wicked steep ravine and how it stops and they funnel up there. Well, when they get around that, they come back in here and another ravine comes in, and then there's this little gradual point that goes down and allows them to cut up before it gets super steep over there. So I mean, this spot has got so many factors. That's down, big trails coming through, split right there. Look at that trail, splits over there and goes.
This needs a stand.
Yep.
What a spot.
Classic fence crossing.
Hang in the leaning white oak ladder stand. Have Jonathan push all this little stuff out of the way to be able to shoot to the rubbing post fence crossing.
Not only is that tree gonna hunt the rubbing post and the main break in the fence, but there's all these little mini ridges within this ridge, and each one of them has a fence break on it. Here you got the trail coming out of the creek bottom. You got another trail that comes in here, another one that comes off this side, and they all come together and they go right through the fence gap. So you got the fence mashed down here in about a 10-yard section. You rub on that tree from year after year after year. So it's just these little things that you kind of got to get in there and pick them apart to really get them figured out, and they end up being your 4 or 5 little go-to spots you have are these kind of spots where there's just several things that all kind of come together and make that perfect place to be. So this farm's got that classic rut vibe to it. Really thick. It's got food on 3 sides of it, so this is more or less like the core piece of ground that these deer want to hang in. It's already thick, like just that low kind of thick. You come up on this flat and there's another gigantic hub scrape. I mean, the thing's 6 foot around. I mean, it's got all kinds of branches broke off and laying in the scrape, and there's fresh tracks in it from today. It makes it super evident that this is a desired location for deer to want to get in here and cruise around for does and check all these little bedding areas, and they can bounce and scent check 3 different food sources on the outskirts without ever coming out of here. I've only been on this ground for like an hour now, but I'm so impressed with what I've already seen.
Our access can be over here to come down to this field. And I mean, man, late season, you just drop in here. Holy cow, the bucks that'll be in here when this is beans. I mean, so vast back here, sick. I'm thinking a gun box needs to go right where the trail comes off the hill, almost tucked up in there, where you can get out of the box and go up the backside of that point. Keep that hedge tree for a ladder. A little bit of a wall from the base of the hill out 60 yards or whatever. We got started here today developing the 75 acres just west of Peoria, about 20 minutes. If you're interested in a farm 35 to 75 acres in this area, get a hold of us to come out and check this place out under development and pre-market.